So here we have the Stundicon Dead End. Now straight off the bat, I'm not really sure why they gave him this gray color scheme as opposed to the black that you can see on the back of the box. To me, that actually looks a lot better and he looks more like an evil Decepticon. However, this color scheme is something that I could ultimately live with, and it's just a minor nitpick. He does come with these two weapons, which one of them is the foot base and hand for when you combine them into Menasor, and you can see a nice amount of little detail in there. It almost looks like a car engine itself, and you can see the little barrels right here for when it becomes a gun. He can hold this in his hand. I think it works best underneath, and it is a little bit heavy, and his ball joints right up here are kind of loose, so he doesn't hold it up. Well, he can sort of hold it up sometimes, but it will fall down. It also has these little holes right here on the side for storing weapons later on, and you can attach them right there along with his little axe right here, and I guess that's how you can kind of pretend it's a gun. Unlike some of the other combiners or the Stunticons, a lot of these guys come with bladed weapons which can double as guns, but this one doesn't. It does fit in his hand like this, just like a regular battle axe. However, it is a very loose fit, unlike some of the other weapons, which is more of a tight fit. So I'm really not sure why they would do that, or if it's just a little design flaw, or maybe it's something with just mine. Now, as far as his articulation goes, his head actually moves very loose. Well, I shouldn't say it's very loose. It's just that right amount to where you can pose him very easily. You don't really feel like you have to struggle moving it around. I've already said earlier that he has that shoulder ball joint right there, and his little side panels right here can actually swivel up and down, so that kind of helps with some of the movement. You can rotate his elbow around 360 degrees, and then it ratchets up and down like here. You can move his waist around like this to get his legs all the way around, which comes important later on for his alt modes and combining into Menasor. Is a nice thigh rotation right here, and then his knees can bend like this. Just as I've said before, these guys can get in some really nice poses, so if you want to combine or have them all in one group shot where they're all in their bot modes, it will look really nice. He does have a really big amount of kibble right here in the front of his truck, which hinders some of the posing when it comes to his arm, especially with this thing. It's just something that you're not going to be able to avoid. It does take away from things a little bit, but when you combine this guy and he actually becomes the foot, it actually makes it look like he has this giant knee. So I do kind of like the design then. Now, to transform this guy into his vehicle mode, you're going to have to bear with me. I've only done it a couple times so far. You're going to move his head back around like this, and then you're going to actually pry his legs open like this, and you can see that you can move his legs down here. Alright, and then just attach everything back up together. I do say this is a little bit of a pain to try to do, because to make sure that it snaps together how it's supposed to. There we go. You're going to move his... how do we do this one again? Oh yeah, you're just going to leave his arms like that. It's one of the other guys that you move his arms up like this. Now, there you can see a little bit lighter gray plastic right here on his shoulders. You're going to move those down, and just his hands are just going to lock into place right here. Okay. And just get everything in there, get everything snug and in there all in their proper places, and then just move his front part of his truck forward and over like this, and that's his vehicle mode. He forms this nice little truck. And I will say he rolls fairly well. I mean, it's not as good as some of the other guys. It might just actually be my table, but it's still pretty good. Now here's my one of my biggest problems. On the back of the box, it actually shows that there's supposed to be a peg right here, I guess, to hold this this piece, but they switched it to this weird little piece of plastic that's jutting up. I have no idea what that is or what that's even for. I thought maybe this part could actually fit on there, but not really. There's really nothing for it. Could you fit that there? No. Yeah, I really have no idea why they would put that there. There's nothing you could attach there for. If anything, it's kind of a hindrance. They might as well have just cut it off. Now, you can attach his weapons right here in the base of his hand or right here on the side, which is a little bit better. Like I've said before, one of my biggest nitpicks with the original G1 characters is there's no place to actually store their weapons in their vehicle mode. And so when it came to combiners, a lot of those things were lost. I can't tell you how many of those, how many legs or just accessories or heads I lost with some of the combiner characters I had in the past. There's really not much else to say about the vehicle mode. Now, to get off-road into his leg mode is a little bit more complicated than drag strip. You have to first pull his cab forward like this and just move it down. You would think that would be it, but his knees are actually going to get in the way right here. So you're going to have to pop those forward and then, oh, I should probably say flip his head all the way around, facing forward, and then move his ratchet connection right here all the way up, and then just place his legs back together like that. And then just place the foot peg right under here, and that's pretty much it. Now you have one of the legs for Menasor. Now to transform off-road into his arm mode is actually pretty simple as well. Just move his head around like this, and then pull this ratchet joint right here out at a 90-degree angle. Now this is the part that's a little bit weird and I think is a little bit funky, especially compared to some of the other combiners. You gotta move his arms and bend them back at the elbows like this, and you can see that there's a little slot here. I'm not really sure if it's this one or this one. I'm suspecting it's this one right in here, and you can see a little panel or peg right here that you just attach that and slide that slot in there. There's nothing that really locks it into place, so you just kind of have to hope that it rests there. I'll do that with the other one. I really wish that would actually peg in there a little bit more solid. Anyways, you just leave that there. Bring his legs together. You can maybe move them around. I think that's actually going to be the best, considering, and I have my own reasons for it. The instructions want you to leave it more like this, but I think it will be a little bit... legs are coming apart. I think it would be a little bit better if you actually had the back of the cab forward like this. And then you just take his hand, or base right here. Now his is a little bit stiffer when it comes to the fingers than drag strip. I'm thinking that's just part of the design. Flip his hand forward like this, and I'm going to make this this one, and then just stick it down in the bag right here. Now I do have some reasonings. I do have some preferred combinations for these guys, and I will get into that when I get into the whole Menasor himself mode, but for now, this has just been off-road in his arm mode.
Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please help me out by sharing, liking, or even subscribing. Comments and advice are also appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.